is Mike Hastie.
Can you hear me? I want you to look at a poster. I went to the Hollywood video store the other day, and I was just returning a film, and there was a video store next to this Hollywood store that has all these violent videos, and I hate violent videos that these kids play with. So this was a poster that was on the window. I took a picture of it. It's called Kill Zone 2, and it looks like this guy has got a M60 machine gun on steroids. And so anyway, I took a picture of it real quick, not knowing why I took a picture of it, but I just thought, I wonder if I'm going to do something with this photograph. So I decided to write a piece called Kill Zone 2. When you see posters like this on video store windows, you wonder if America will ever be at peace with itself. Violent video games have become a disease in this country. We are teaching our children to kill with a button. Military training starts at this level. Kids and young adults have no idea who gets killed in war. Let me give an example. A Marine friend went into a Vietnamese village with his platoon and massacred 50 innocent Vietnamese people with their M16s. They were ordered to commit this atrocity. Another Vietnam veteran friend witnessed the aftermath of American jets dropping napalm on a Vietnamese village. There were over 100 people burned to death, or should I say, murdered. I have known many Vietnam veterans who were forced to kill children in combat. Why? Because civilians are everywhere, and most important, the vast majority of people killed in war are civilians. I met a Vietnam vet who witnessed his platoon sergeant take a shotgun and kill an entire Vietnamese family in a village because he was using them as an example of what he would do to others in the village if he did not get information. I saw a young Vietnamese woman flown in by helicopter in my aid station who eventually died from a severe head injury because an American soldier took out his anger on her. I know a Vietnam veteran who saw prisoners of war executed in the field after they were interrogated. In 1994, when I went back to Vietnam, I stood next to a ditch where 150 Vietnamese civilians were murdered by American troops. They were ordered to commit this atrocity. I know a Navy Vietnam veteran whose ship was ordered to fire countless artillery rounds into a Vietnamese village near a beach. He could see the artillery shells landing with his binoculars. He said the entire village was destroyed. Kids and young adults who play violent video games have no idea who gets killed in war. There can be body parts everywhere. There can be teenage American soldiers being flown in by helicopter, and they will be crying for their mothers. I have met very few Vietnam veterans who do not know at least one Vietnam veteran who committed suicide. I had a Vietnam veteran friend who hung himself in a motel room. I had another Vietnam veteran friend die in a head-on car collision who was severely depressed about his experiences in Vietnam. I had another Vietnam veteran friend die homeless on the streets of a large city in North Carolina. What the American people know about the true cost of war, you could stick in a thimble. Ignorance of this truth never stops. So, what needs to be done is for veterans to start telling the truth, because the truth is always in the details. It is always about being honest, sometimes being brutally honest, like watching young soldiers kill themselves slowly with heroin, so screwed up they forget where they are, or so screwed up they take an M16 and kill another soldier, or someone gets too close to the recoil of an artillery gun and it takes half of their face off, killing them instantly, or a soldier who takes a knife and threatens to slit the throat of another soldier, or the time I rushed into a tent shortly after a young soldier took his M16 and blew his brains out. Or watching another medic friend attempt suicide after he got a Dear John letter from his girlfriend. Or unzip a body bag to examine the body of a soldier who took a pistol and shot himself in the head. Or one night, 2 soldiers on guard duty got their throats slit. Or you take a soldier off of a helicopter who has been shot in the head. No one says a word as the body is put in the back of a truck. Or watching a young soldier take his last breath after he was shot in the stomach as a close friend nearby begs for him to live. This is the kind of reality that kids and young adults don't see when they have a plastic joystick in their hands. However, someday they might. Someday they might have to put a close friend into a body bag. That's when post-traumatic stress disorder is born. That's when you might have to give up. That's when you might have to live with graphic images the rest of your life. As was the case with me and countless other Vietnam veterans I have known, all too often, with the political question being asked, why were we ever in Vietnam? None of the leaders of our generation ever had their kids in Vietnam. When you follow the corporate money trail, you will see the truth. Lying is the most powerful weapon in war. For tens of thousands of Vietnam veterans who felt betrayed by their own government, self-destruction became a way out of their psychological turmoil, their loss of trust in everything. Betrayal is like having a lifelong mentor turn on you and become your worst enemy. This is the internal chaos of so many Vietnam veterans I have known. The thing I remember the most about Vietnam is how young we all looked. I met soldiers in Vietnam who looked like they belonged in a high school pep assembly. Some talked about playing sports like it was yesterday. Some read me letters from their mothers. Some cried in front of me because they could no longer take the pain of war anymore. We were so young, too young. 58,000 Americans were killed in Vietnam. Their average age was 19, from the senior prom to Vietnam.